From the Kiss 92.5 studios in Toronto, Canada.
Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen.
This is Roz
Yes.
and Mocha.
It's Roz and Mocha. What's going on?
Hey guys, this is Bruno
This
Mars.
is Selena Gomez.
Chainsmokers.
Lady Gaga.
Calvin Harris.
Celestia Cara.
This is Ed Sheeran.
You're listening to my boys Roz and Mocha.
Roz and Mocha.
My boys Roz and Mocha.
The Roz and Mocha Show.
Between Roz and Mocha, who is your favorite?
Mocha. You guys are so funny, man.
Congratulations, Lisa! Wow!
You just won $1,000.
It's amazing. Y'all just made my entire morning. Keep it up.
You guys are awesome, man. This is the Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Hey Mocha.
Yeah.
You ready?
Uh-huh.
Let's do the news.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
News break.
Joe Coy is set to host the Golden Globes. As of yesterday, they had no host, and then yesterday afternoon they announced Joe Coy. So I guess they went to like all the main sort of A-list hosty types, and apparently everybody said no. So
Except for Joe.
Except for Joe. They say, we're thrilled to have Joe host the 81st Annual Golden Globe Awards and bring his infectious energy and relatable humor to kick off Hollywood's award season. We can't wait to see what he has in store for the stars in the room and the global audience. We know Joe is going to bring his A game. So
I don't mind him.
He's good. He's fine.
I watched his last Netflix special.
Who was he dating? He was with
Chelsea Handler.
Chelsea Handler. That's who it was.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Vin Diesel is being accused of sexual battery by a former assistant.
Ooh.
This was in 2010 while he was shooting Fast Five. The assistant, Asta Johnson, alleges that September, Vin grabbed her by the wrists with both hands and pulled her onto the bed. And then she allegedly asked him to stop and escaped his grasp. And then Vin approached her and began to grope her, attempting to pull down her underpants, which caused her to scream and run down the hallway. And then he chased after her and pinned her against the wall. And then when she finally got out, Vin's sister, who runs his production company, called her 2 hours later to fire her.
What?
So that's the allegations. Vin's attorney says, let me be clear, Vin is categorically denying this claim in its entirety. This is the first he has ever heard about this in the more than 13-year-old claim made by a purportedly 9-day employee because she was only there for less than 2 weeks. There's clear evidence which completely refutes these outlandish allegations. Tommy Lee from Motley Crue is being sued for allegedly assaulting a woman on a helicopter. This was back in 2003, where this woman knew the pilot and he invited her to take a ride in a helicopter. The woman says that when she arrived, Tommy Lee was already on the helicopter up in the front with the pilot. And the woman says that they had said at some point she should go up and sit on his lap, and then she agreed because she felt pressure to do so. And then he started groping her, and then they landed and Tommy just left, and then she stayed and the pilot just flew her back home.
What?
Which is a crazy story. I don't know.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
The shortlist for the Academy Awards were announced. This is weird because it's not like the big categories, right? They do like documentary, international feature, makeup, hairstyling, sound, all this other stuff. Barbie is leading the way, and the music category, though, is crazy this year. So this is the shortlist. So this is not going to be all the nominees. But look at the short list right now for the music category. So best original song, I guess it is. So Billie Eilish and Phineas, Olivia Rodrigo, John Batiste, Dua Lipa, Mark Ronson, A$AP Rocky, Halle Bailey, and Lenny Kravitz.
Wow.
Good luck.
Bro.
Right? Like everyone's a star. Like you always get a composer or a whatever.
That's like a Grammy category.
Yeah, it's a Grammy. You're right. That's a Grammy category. Yeah. So I don't know who's going to make the final cut out of all of these, but this is the short list.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Do you want to hear a conservative MP trying to be funny? So this is Scott Reed, and every year he does a year-end poem. He rewrites the words to "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Like a couple of years ago, he did "Was the Night Before COVID."
Oh, God.
He said that he had a real hard time trying to find words that rhymed with AstraZeneca. Like, he does this every year on the sort of last
What, people
day.
look forward to it?
Apparently they do.
Like his
'cause
fans?
They make a big deal out of it. This is also the guy that I think it was like 2019 when they were doing like a marathon voting session. He's the one that stood up and busted Trudeau because Trudeau was caught eating a candy bar, and you're not allowed to eat in the House of Commons, and he stood up and made a point.
What a
and then or actually he accused him of eating a bagel.
Yeah.
And then what happened was Trudeau had to stand up and say it wasn't a bagel, it was a chocolate bar, and I'm very sorry. It's a whole mess in there. Anyway, here's this.
'Tis a week before Christmas, and it's time to state that our PM is well past his best before date.
Oh, damn.
After 8 years of his rule, it's time to say thanks for doubling the number of folks using food banks. After 8 years, when our kids nestle snug in their beds, they're just lucky there's still a roof over their heads. For on cold winter nights, under snow and the stars, many citizens now have to sleep in their cars. You can protest, of course, but only in small amounts, lest like the truckers, he freezes your bank accounts.
Oh, damn.
And he'll accuse you of hate based on faith or on race, which seems strange for a man caught 3 times wearing blackface. He's so quick to say sorry for wrongs from long ago, but not for when he elbowed Ruth Ellen Brousseau. So let's quote back to the PM some words of his home. Sir, enough is enough. Now go home and stay home. And here's what we'd like Santa's elves to administer. This Christmas, please bring us a brand new Prime Minister.
I think it should be mandatory, right? I think because there are so many rules in the House of Commons, I think it should be mandatory that if somebody gets up and trashes you in poem, I think it should be mandatory that you have to respond in poem.
Yes. It's a rap battle.
Right, thank you.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, Trudeau should have been given the opportunity.
Yes.
To throw back.
Not given, forced.
Yeah.
He should have been forced.
Sir, stand up.
Freestyle. Freestyle. God, could you imagine?
Oh
I'd watch CPAC every single day. I really would.
Wow, that's funny.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Nicholas Petch, don't know how to say the guy's name. He is the 80-year-old billionaire who's also the one of the heirs to Hermes, the luxury brand.
Yeah.
So he's worth around $13 billion because I think he has like 7.5% of the company or something like that.
You say billion with a B?
Billion, yeah. And that company's worth like $280 billion or something.
Okay.
So he's got $13 billion and he lives in Europe and he has this contract with this foundation, this charity that he also founded.
Okay.
And the plan was to leave his fortune to that organization. However, he's changed his mind and he now wants to give half of his $13 billion fortune to his gardener, or as somebody else has referred to him as, a male servant, former gardener, and handyman.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Look at Shiv's face.
Okay.
So if he dies, the contract stipulates that his shares are supposed to go back into the foundation. But there's one stipulation, and that is if he was to become a father.
Okay.
So now what he wants to do is he wants to adopt his former gardener and
The handyman?
handyman.
He must be a daddy.
Already
is, if he has me.
So he could get $6 billion.
Oh my God,
when he dies.
That's wild.
So there's a gardener out there that may make $6 billion. That's crazy.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Joe Keery from Stranger Things was on. He's who was he play on?
Steve.
Steve, right, on Stranger Things. He was talking to Fallon about what is gwonnin' with Stranger Things final season.
I have seen a few, yeah.
You saw a few scripts.
I don't think I can say anything other maybe than that, yeah.
Can you react, like a facial reaction if I say something? Like,
yeah, okay, which camera should I do it in?
you could do it too. Which camera? Camera 1, is that best? Yeah, right here is good. Yeah,
Okay,
all right.
sure.
So,
Okay.
What facial expression best sums up the season? Hey, you heard it. You saw it here first. You saw it here first.
He didn't do anything.
What did he do? Did he just make a face?
Kind of shrugs. He goes like,
I don't know.
yeah.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
A controversial New York Times opinion piece that suggested that Taylor Swift is a closeted queer person has got a lot of people all fired up. So it was written by editor Anna Marks, who is gay, and Marks within the article preemptively addressed the criticism that the piece was going to get by saying, I know that discussing the potential of a star's queerness before a formal declaration of identity feels to some too salacious and gossip-fueled to be worthy of discussion. She goes on to say, every time an artist signals queerness and that transmission falls on deaf ears, that signal dies. Recognizing the possibilities of queerness while being conscious of the difference between possibility and certainty keeps that signal alive. And then I guess she went on to just talk about all these clues that Taylor has dropped over the years that she may be closeted. Somebody,
but if anyone can dissect clues, it's like Taylor fans.
Right. And it's also,
right?
and even the response that somebody gave to CNN, I don't really believe, because Taylor normally in situations like this speaks for herself.
Yeah.
So somebody talked to CNN and they said, because of Taylor's massive success in this moment, there is a Taylor-shaped hole in people's ethics. They go on to say this article wouldn't have been allowed to be written about Shawn Mendes or any male artist whose sexuality has been questioned by fans. There seems to be no boundary some journalists won't cross when writing about Taylor, regardless of how invasive, untrue, and inappropriate it is, all under the protective veil of an opinion piece.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Oh my God, did you see this Alaskan Airlines plane that started falling apart in the air?
Yeah.
It ripped a kid's shirt off.
Bro, I can't even. So it was flying from, I think, Portland, or I don't know. It was returning to Portland. And just after it took off, like a big hole just like popped out of the side of the plane.
Like, how does that even happen?
So it is, what I found out is that, because everybody was like, it wasn't the emergency door that came off. It was literally just a piece of the plane.
Okay.
But what that hole is a covered up hole that gives the people who run the airline the option of another emergency exit. So it is an existing door hole that they've just paneled over. And then so that's what flew out. And then like oxygen masks stop. But there's video of it. And there's like a guy sitting like right there by the hole.
Seatbelt still on.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do at that point? Like, you just...
Well, you don't move because what if you get sucked out?
You can't do anything.
I don't know what I would do.
Did you get a refund?
You know what, with this airline and all the problems they've been going through. But anyway, so they I would imagine maybe you get a refund, something like that. But they've had to ground all of these Boeing 737s again because of this. And so here's one of the passengers, a guy named Evan Smith.
It was about as wide as a refrigerator and about as high as 2/3 of a refrigerator in height. There was a really loud bang towards the left rear of the plane and a whooshing noise, and all the air masks dropped. Just got to sit there. It's not anything I have any control over. And it's just wait and see what happens.
Super chill. Wait and see. Come on, bro.
No.
It's like out of the Final Destination movie.
Yeah.
No, I'm activating my phone.
Yeah.
I'm taking airplane mode off, and I'm trying to call everybody I know.
Yes.
It's going down. Like, I'm done.
Plane.
Peace.
There's a hole in the plane.
How do you fly again after that?
You
That's what I want to know.
don't. Yeah, you don't. No.
How do you get over that?
No, I am Greyhound best friends at that point. Like, there's no way I'm flying. There's no way.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Golden Globe last night. Joe Coy was the host. They brought him in, I guess, at the last minute. I don't know. Like, oh boy! Like, you know,
what happened, Joe?
So bad. Oh my God.
Was he terrible?
Oh my God.
It was probably the worst opening monologue that I've seen for an award show ever, and I love Joe Coy, but it was bad.
I don't know who it was, but there was a point when he told a joke, and you could see the audience, and two people put their hands in their face.
Oh,
that's really bad.
So here, let's go through set. Play out number 3. This is the Barbie Oppenheimer thing.
Oppenheimer and Barbie are competing for cinematic box office achievement. Oppenheimer is based on a 721-page Pulitzer Prize-winning book about the Manhattan Project. And Barbie is on a plastic doll with big boobies. I watched Barbie. I loved it. I really did love it. The key moment in Barbie is when she goes from perfect beauty to bad breath, cellulite, and flat feet. Or what casting directors call character actor.
He sort of missed his own punchline with that other joke. And then here he is talking. He made a joke about Taylor Swift. Number 7, please.
Welcome back. And as you know, we came on after a football doubleheader. The big difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL, on the Golden Globes, we have fewer camera shots of Taylor Swift. I swear. There's just more to go to here. Sorry about that.
Because she looked so mad.
Was she pissed?
She gave him a look.
Yeah.
Did she?
Oh, yeah.
Was she playing along?
Or
Because
did
sometimes
she-
people do that. Oh, no, she was not playing along.
No, she looked irritated, and then she took a sip of her wine, and it was,
No, that was staged. That had to have been.
No, I don't think so, man. She looked mad.
Because sometimes they do that, right? They'll
Totally.
say to a celebrity, hey, the camera's going to be on you after a certain joke.
Yeah, but he was bombing before that, and it just, it wasn't a good look, man.
I also feel like she's so over the fact that people continue to talk about her relationship. So at this point, it's like, again.
Wow. I mean, don't go to football games, right? It was a football game joke, not a Taylor Swift relationship joke.
I guess.
Right? But still, terrible joke.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Y'all see Timothy Chalamet kissing Kylie Jenner at the Globes last night?
Their boyfriend, girlfriend, of course they're going to kiss.
Apparently they showed up late, too.
Oh.
And they had to be, like, sneaked in.
Did you see the video Selena Gomez mouthing to Taylor Swift that she tried to get a picture with Timothy Chalamet, but Kylie said no?
Oh, damn.
What?
You got all that from the mouth?
You could.
That's what she said.
Stop it. What happened, Maury?
So there's a video of Selena Gomez whispering to Taylor Swift that she wanted a picture with Timothy Chalamet.
Right.
And Kylie Jenner said no.
And you can hear this in the video?
No. People are, I guess
Lip
there's
reading?
video lip reading. Yeah.
That's a long video, though. I tried to get a picture with Timothy, but then Kylie said no.
Stop it.
I don't believe that story at all.
Jason Sudeikis taking a lot of heat because apparently he wore a T-shirt and running shoes to the Globes last night.
Yo, but that's his style, though. He does
Somebody
that all the time.
tweeted that he is definitely single because no woman would let him go to the Golden Globes dressed like that. Ooh,
wow.
That hurts. Damn. Much like Damn It Maury, Pedro Pascal showed up to the Golden Globes in a sling.
His sling was fancier than mine.
Yes. Yeah, yours looks like, I don't know.
Well, yours is,
Maury broke his arm, by the
hospital
way.
issued.
Yeah,
Right?
his is designer.
His is made by Fendi,
And
probably.
the only thing he said when asked about it was that it was a fall, and he didn't reveal anything else. He said, "Be careful; it can happen to anybody."
This is true.
That's what he said to reporters as
This
he
is the
walked
way.
by. Yes,
That's what happens when you live the Mandalorian life.
right? Let's do Kieran Culkin. Kieran Culkin winning for Succession last night.
Oh, nightmare. Ugh. Sit down. Thank you, boy. Sorry, burping, indigestion. Didn't need to say that. Otherwise, this is a nice moment for me. I was, I've blown it already, Jazz. You were right. You said, just say thanks and leave. You were right. I was nominated for a Golden Globe like 20 years ago, and when that moment passed, I sort of remember thinking I'm never going to be back in this room again, and which was fine, whatever. But
wow, it's not bitter.
Thanks to Succession, I've been in here a couple times. It's nice, but I sort of accepted I was never going to be on the stage, so this is a nice moment. Suck it, Pedro. Sorry. Mine. Really quickly, I'd just like thank everybody in Succession, Jesse, our writers, the amazing cast.
Yo, I'm like, just listening to him talk.
Yeah.
I'm very much like I had my hand over the bleep button because
just in case,
because he
Yes.
still sounds like his character in Succession.
Did you see when Tom from Succession won?
No,
he has an accent.
Yeah, who knew?
What?
Yeah, he's got an accent.
Like, so does Sarah Snook.
Yeah,
Or
I
Shiv.
knew Sarah Snook did.
Uh-huh.
I knew Sarah Snara. I can never say that woman's
What's his name? What's his real name? What's Tom's real name?
It's go to Golden Globes 9. Put that one on.
Okay.
Matthew McFadden.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
What the?
I just adored every second playing the weird and wonderful human grease stain that is Tom Wamsgard's.
No. That ain't my Tom.
Kind of sounds like a fake English accent.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not my Tom.
It's so proper. It's almost.
Wanna
You're
hear
right.
him yell at Greg.
It's almost fake. Let's do. Jeremy Allen White, who I took Roxy to see Iron Claw for her birthday.
And?
That was her birthday movie. She picked it.
Yeah, and?
Yeah, it was okay. Like, I mean, it's good. It's such a heartbreaking movie.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
my God, that story. And then when you find out like all the stuff that they had to take out of it, just because the director was like, the audience can't handle that much.
Didn't they remove like one of the brothers?
They
from
took
the entire
they took a whole
story?
brother out of the story because he also killed himself.
Uh-huh.
Right? Like, it's just such a tragic story. But Jeremy Allen White is so good, and he won for The Bear in the comedy category, if you can believe that.
Wow. I can't believe I'm in this room with all these people I've loved so much, admired so much for so long. It's unreal. I love this show. I need to thank everybody at FX. I need to thank Chris.
Is it just me, or has anybody else in the last 24 hours on every single feed of social media I have is a new picture of Jeremy Allen White in his underpants?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
I was going to say, did y'all see that Calvin Klein?
I don't know what happened in 24 hours. It's
Which one? Him leaning forward or him leaning back?
All of them.
All of them.
You know what? I enjoy it.
You do. Like, that's all. Like, 24
Can't
hours.
lie.
It's only Jeremy Allen White in his undies.
2024 is off to like a wild and crazy start.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Hold on, let me go see if I can find these for you, Maria.
That's okay.
like
I can find
Oh,
it.
you already have them?
I can find them.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
I got to play this clip of this Peloton instructor going off on Christopher Nolan's Tenet, that movie. And the reason she goes off on it is because as she's teaching the Peloton class, The Plan by Travis Scott comes on, and I guess that was a song in the movie. So she's teaching this Peloton class and then just decides to go off on Tenet.
This song is from the soundtrack of a movie called Tenet. Anybody see this? Did anybody see this besides me? Because I need a manual. Someone's got to explain this. Yeah, I'm not kidding. What the was going on in that movie? Do you understand? Seriously, you need to be a neuroscientist to understand. And that's 2.5 hours of my life that I want back. I want it back.
Damn, Jenna Sherman.
Christopher Nolan was sitting at home on his Peloton bike taking that class.
Got him!
Wow. Could you imagine? You're like in the zone, right? He's sweating. He's like, I'm getting my fitness on
And
today.
he had said something else where I guess he tried to make it lighthearted. But at first he said, in today's world where opinions are everywhere, there's a sort of idea that film criticism is being democratized. But I, for one, think the critical appreciation of films shouldn't be an instinct, but it should be a profession. So basically, shut up and let the pros review movies, right? Which is crazy to me.
Yo, you're sick. Yo, you're sick to my stomach, fam.
Might as well have just said that.
Yeah.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Hey, who watched Saltburn over the holidays?
So good. Can I tell you guys? So Jenna and I watched it, and then during the last, we stopped. There was 10 minutes left in the movie.
Yeah.
And we just stopped.
You did? You didn't finish?
No.
Oh,
Why
So,
not?
After the scene.
Which scene?
There's like every
you can't
scene
say
is the
scene.
Close to the end of the movie.
Oh, I know which scene.
The grave scene?
Yes.
Okay.
So after that, we watch another scene
Right.
of Oliver talking to some next person. And then I just blanked. I didn't even listen to what they said.
Okay.
And I looked at Jenna. I was like, we good? She's like, yeah, we're good.
So you missed the dance?
You just see him. You didn't see him naked then.
There was a lot of.
Wait, which time?
You missed the dance.
No, like the dance at the end.
Nah.
Like okay.
It was a
Anyway.
very visual
Anyway,
dance.
spoiler alert. If you get a chance, Chloe Fineman from SNL did a great video where she watched it with her parents and recorded their reaction.
Maria, did you watch this with your parents?
Yeah, I did.
No, you did not.
Yeah, and it was my idea, so I'm the idiot. Yep. Did not know that was coming.
Yeah.
So
So-
after the honestly, it just started to get worse after the bathtub scene.
Yes, that's where it took a
And
turn.
then my dad at one point looked at me and was like, "What in the name? Why did you choose this movie?" And I'm like, "I'm never going to be allowed to choose a movie again in this house."
Did you watch the whole thing with them?
The whole thing, and then at the end, nobody spoke and everyone went to the room.
Okay, but what happened in the room? What happened in the room during the scene where they were outside late at night?
My mom was like, "Oh my god," and then my
Wait,
younger
late
sister
night?
just
Late at night. Wow.
Late at night.
the late at night,
when
the
he
dress
goes
scene.
outside to meet the girl.
Yeah, what'd your folks say about that, Maria?
My dad's like, "Are you kidding me? What is going on?" And then I was like, "I shouldn't have picked this movie. I didn't know that was coming."
I will say this. I think that Maury and I, we put it on with Roxy in the room, and then we got 5 minutes into it and realized, no, this isn't for us.
Matthew and I loved it.
I thought it was one of the best movies of the year.
What?
Yeah. Hands down, pants down, one of the best movies of the year.
Pants down for real.
Yeah, I did. I
pants
really
down.
did. I thought it was like the perfect combination of like The Great Gatsby meets The Talented Mr. Ripley. It was like just screwed up enough that
sick,
as a
bruh.
film, I thought it was awesome.
So I saw Jacob
loved
Elordi saying that it's definitely a rewatch movie. Like you have to
No.
rewatch it again to see all the hidden Easter eggs in there. I'm like, who's watching that
It's true.
again?
No, it's true. There are
Hidden
Easter
Easter
eggs.
eggs?
Yeah.
Like when she's pouring the wine and it's spilling out, it represents the bathtub.
When you're talking about the doppelganger, he's like in the
couldn't
window.
close the window, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Y'all are deep diving way into this.
Yeah.
Freak movie.
Yeah.
all right?
And who's ordering the
nah,
Jacob
nah,
Elordi
nah.
bathwater candles?
That's disgusting.
What?
There's a company that's making bathwater candles.
Bro, I'm like, it's so sick.
You know, like all the hair and everything else, someone's been in that drain and just like.
Oh, you worried about everything else? Outside of the main components? You're worried about hair?
I'm actually disturbed by that movie. Like I could have gone my whole life without watching that movie.
Y'all know I could never look at dirt the same, right?
Everything's ruined for you.
Everything.
Everything's baths,
Dirt.
dirt,
Wine.
wine, blood.
Grapes.
Everything's ruined.
The dark outside, never again. Never. No.
Anyway, if you get a chance, watch it with your folks.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Golden Globe Awards. Actually, the ratings went up by 50%. So they had 9.4 million viewers, which is up from 50% from last year. Joe Coy, who people are still ripping apart. Like, it's a really weird thing that a host for an awards show, like the day afterwards, you have to kind of like go on and defend yourself. But it was really wild. So this is Joe Coy talking to GMA yesterday.
You know, I'd be lying if it doesn't hurt. I hit like a little moment there where I was just like, hosting is just it's a tough gig, and yes, I am a stand-up comic, but that hosting position is it's a different style. It's not the same style. So, I kind of went in and did the whole the writers thing, and it's just like, no, we were all in that room together. We just had 10 days to try and write something for this monologue. It was a crash course, and I feel bad, but hey, I gotta still say that I loved what I did.
And it's still at that moment with Taylor Swift where he made like a half-assed I guess it was a Taylor Swift joke, but I thought it was like a football joke. And she and at first I thought, Maria, you know the Swifties.
Yeah. Yeah.
At first I thought she was sort of goofing. Like it looked like she was kind of playing along. But then like you look at what the Swifties' reaction was and everything else. And I don't know whether she was legitimately pissed or she can't take a joke or she was acting or...
Okay, all over TikTok, as you guys know that I'm on there, everyone is saying that she was actually pissed.
So here's the joke to remind everybody.
Welcome back, and as you know, we came on after a football doubleheader. The big difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL, On the Golden Globes, we have fewer camera shots of Taylor Swift. I swear. There's just more to go to here.
That's the joke. And then,
sorry about that.
Here's poor Joe Coy having to defend that.
The Taylor one was just a little flat, and I just it was a weird joke, I guess, but it was more on the NFL, you know what I mean? I was trying to make fun of the NFL using cutaways and how the Globes didn't have to do that, and so it was more of a jab towards the NFL.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Donna Kelsey, the Kelsey brothers' mom, is like this superstar now. They trotted her out. Did you see on The Price is Right, Maury?
No, I missed this yesterday.
Because I guess she's like a huge Price is Right fan. What did she do? I don't know. They brought her out and she just did the Donna Kelsey thing. But she was talking to E.T. about the possibility of once again both her boys being in the Super Bowl.
So we still have the potential that they could face off once again this year in the Super Bowl. How do you handle that this year? Have you already started thinking about the possibility?
No, I think to get back to the Super Bowl is tough enough as it is, but I really think that this year has been difficult, and the teams seem there's a lot of parity, and so we'll see what happens. Anything can happen, really.
But they both, listen, they're both in the playoffs. Anything can happen in the playoffs. This is the best time of year.
Very true. Yeah. It's so true. Yeah. I know.
Gosh, she sounds so Midwest. It's only happened once before where back-to-back teams have faced each other in 2 consecutive years, and that was 94 with Dallas and Buffalo.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Barry Keoghan from Saltburn. If you haven't watched Saltburn yet, I recommend watching it with your parents. That's what Maria did.
Yeah, great. It was a great experience.
Please watch Saltburn with your parents. But here is Barry talking about all the moments in the film that were actually improv'd, including the grave scene and the dance scene. Listen to this.
Emerald had talked a little bit about how you improvised in the film, especially in the notorious...
all the sick parts.
The especially sick parts. No, she mentioned something about how the grave scene was kind of your idea in some ways.
It was like a collaboration. It was I wanted to see what Oliver would do next. I wanted to see what the next level of obsession was, and by that I just wanted the camera to roll, not to kind of preempt it or rehearse it. And what happened, happened. It was one take. It was, I think it was right. I moved the story forward.
Tell us about the dance scene as well. I feel like Sophie Ellis-Bextor has a lot to thank you for as well.
I didn't know I could move my hips that way. Honestly, I didn't. But the dance scene was it was cool. I'd love to kind of do a musical.
So the grave scene, here's the problem with that, is that if that was 100% improv, and if you've watched Saltburn, you know what the grave scene is. Mm-hmm. But if that was 100% improv, he didn't have anything covering it. And that was real dirt. If it was in the script, they would have had some sort of sock on it.
I believe it was improv. I believe it was totally improv.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is that because it was improv, there was nothing covering it. So it actually went in the dirt.
It's a real actor, right?
Yeah, there was nothing. There's no protection.
I wish I didn't know that it was improv for many reasons.
I'm going to get your mother on the phone about this because I'm curious as to what she has to say.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Damn it, Maury, what's your retirement plan? Do you have one?
I have dreams, but honestly, I think I'm working till I'm 90.
You and Matthew don't have a retirement plan. You once called me your retirement plan, Maury. I remember that. So there was a mortgage and loan comparison site that looked at the cost of living in a bunch of different countries without having to pay rent. So they took rent out of it, and Canada is still very high on that list. Compared with figures of each country's, their retirement age, the average life expectancy, and then they estimated how much money any individual would need to survive in that corresponding country. Okay. So Switzerland was the most expensive place to retire, followed by Monaco and Qatar. Canada was number 6. So what they found was at an average retirement age of 60, let's say, Maury.
Okay.
And the average life expectancy of 83. Okay, Maury. That a Canadian would need around $300,000 saved, not including rent.
Dying early and poor.
Yeah. You got a lot of figuring out to do, man.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Jimmy Kimmel last night on his show ripped into Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers is on the McAfee podcast on ESPN, and this was right before all those Jeffrey Epstein papers came out. And Aaron Rodgers has this isn't the first time that he's alluded to the fact that he feels that Jimmy Kimmel's name will eventually come out in those Epstein papers. So here's what the brief thing that Aaron Rodgers had said.
This has something to do with the Epstein list that came out?
Feels like
That's supposed to be coming out soon.
Look, this guy's been waiting in his wine cellar.
Yeah.
I've been waiting in my wine cellar for this thing.
A lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't.
All right.
Okay, so where this all came from, I'm guessing, is that Jimmy Kimmel has in the past been very public with his friendship with this Los Angeles-based chef. And it turned out that that chef that is very close friends to Jimmy Kimmel, they seem to have a great relationship, was also, and for a very long time, Jeffrey Epstein's personal chef. Ooh. That he had, did a lot of work for Jeffrey Epstein. So people think that that's where the connection is. So here's Jimmy Kimmel last night. He did a 7-minute monologue dedicated to Aaron Rodgers.
And then it did come out, and of course my name wasn't on it, and isn't on it, and won't ever be on. I don't know Jeffrey Epstein. I've never met Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not on a list. I was not on a plane or an island or anything ever, and I suggested that if Aaron wanted to make false and very damaging statements like that we should do it in court so he could share his proof with a judge. Because, when you hear a guy who won a Super Bowl and did all the State Farm commercials say something like this, a lot of people believe it. A lot of delusional people honestly believe I am meeting up with Tom Hanks and Oprah at Shakey's once a week to eat pizza and drink the blood of children.
And it was interesting because Kimmel put Aaron Rodgers in a position because in his original tweet and then again in the monologue last night, he said, hey, listen, why don't we just have this conversation in court in front of a judge where you can bring out whatever evidence, we'll give you the opportunity to say whatever you want to say, which of course is never going to happen. So then Kimmel puts Aaron Rodgers in the position to apologize. Listen to this.
The truth still matters. And when I do get something wrong, which happens on rare occasions, you know what I do? I apologize for it, which is what Aaron Rodgers should do, which is what a decent person would do, but I bet he won't. If he does, you know what I'll do? I'll accept his apology and move on. But he probably won't do that. My guess is he won't apologize. I hope I'm wrong. That's how I think it will go.
There's rumors that Aaron's going to be on his show tonight.
On who? Jimmy Kimmel's show tonight?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I know yesterday that he said, somebody asked him about it yesterday, and he said that I'll be talking about it tomorrow, but I thought he was going back on the Pat McAfee podcast.
Apparently
no?
it's Kimmel tonight.
Really?
That's what I'm reading, yeah.
Wow. Because ESPN and Jimmy Kimmel are both ABC, right? And that's why it was such a huge thing.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Lisa Bonet has officially filed for divorce from Jason Momoa.
Are we clapping for that?
I don't know. Do we clap for that, Maria?
I don't know. I don't want to clap for divorce. I feel bad.
No, but for Jason Momoa being single.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Okay.
Y'all so thirsty.
So thirsty. They've been together since 2005, married in 2017, but they've been together a long, long time. Apparently, they had a prenup because everything is really laid out. There's no spousal support going either way. They both sort of keep all their property listed. They're going to have joint custody of the kids, so it seems like a very clean divorce. Maria, quickly, your thoughts on Lisa Bonet having been married twice, once to Lenny Kravitz, once to Jason Momoa.
I mean, she's got good choices.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Selena Gomez jumping into the comment section on Instagram to shoot down the rumors that she asked Timothée Chalamet for a picture at the Golden Globe Awards, and Kylie Jenner shut her down. That was the whole thing, remember? So she goes over, apparently, Selena Gomez goes over to Taylor Swift and this other woman. What's her name? I don't even know how you say this name.
Kylie Jenner.
No, it's not. It's not
Kim
Kylie.
Kardashian.
No, it's
Keely?
not. Is it Keely or Kelly?
Hailey Bieber.
No,
I think it's Keely.
What is it?
I think it's Kaylee.
Kaylee?
Yeah.
Keileigh.
Yeah, Kaylee.
Kaylee.
Jenner.
No, Teller.
Yep. Miles.
And all the amateur lip readers were like, oh my God. So what she said was that she went over to get a picture with Timothy. And that then Kylie Jenner shut her down. And it was all gossip. So there was somebody posted the story on Instagram. And then Selena Gomez jumped in the comments section and said, no, I told Taylor about my 2 friends who hooked up. Not that that's anyone's business.
Oh, you talking tea though. Still.
Why would you go to another table to tell like that? That doesn't make sense. And Taylor's reaction was like, no.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And then Timothy Chalamet shot down the rumors. He was followed by and questioned by TMZ paparazzi. So it's very difficult to hear. But so they ask if everybody is cool. And Timothy Chalamet says, of course. And then he was asked flat out if Selena Gomez and Kylie Jenner have any beef, and he said no. And then finally, when he asked if they're good, he says all good. It's very difficult to hear, but he did answer the questions.
Are you and Selena cool?
Yeah, of course.
Does Selena and Kylie have any beef? Is that outrageous?
No.
But they're good, right?
All good. All good.
Can you shut down the rumors? Would you ever deny Selena a photo? Is it ridiculous?
Okay, so I guess that's an end to that then.
Sure.
I don't know. I'd love to talk about it even more, ladies. Let's get together after the show.
There's no
Let's hang.
way she said.
Split a bottle of wine and dissect.
Yeah, give me a break. I told her about these other 2 friends that hooked up.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Are their names Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner?
Yes.
Listen, if that's the case, I want to know that story.
Right?
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Star Wars with the big announcement yesterday. So, Mandalorian, I guess they are still developing season 4. But they're also now going to be going into production this year on a live action movie.
Yes.
Called The Mandalorian and Grogu, which I don't know why you just don't call it The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But whatever. So it's
Maybe they don't want to confuse fans
I don't
for
know.
Disney Plus.
And this will be the, so Jon Favreau is going to be writing and directing it. And this will be the first movie since 2019's Rise of Skywalker. Disney always announces and then pulls movies. So who knows? But 2019 was the last Star Wars movie. The next one on the slate is 2026.
Which is what?
May 2026. I don't know. And then December 2026 and then December 2027. So they have said that there's another one with Daisy Ridley coming out, which picks up 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker.
Amazing.
Then there's one from the guy who directed Logan, James Mangold. And then there is one that Dave Filoni is doing from the universe of Mandalorian and Boba Fett. So
they should do one where like the first hour is directed by one person, then another director directs the next part, and then another director directs the end. Do you know what I mean?
That's what they do with Mandalorian now. Is each episode is a different director. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I'm down for
TV
this.
shows do that all the time.
But I think that this is the way they got to go, because all these other projects that they talked about, with characters that maybe aren't as major, and Mandalorian has been proven to be like a success, they got to ride the wave.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I agree. And then Bob Iger also said that they're scaling back on all Star Wars and Marvel.
Okay,
so,
good.
Whatever.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Mocha, how break this down for me? So when it comes to the perfect night's sleep, a good night's sleep, or a bad night's sleep, what do you think your ratio is?
Right now in my life,
Yes.
my sleep is terrible.
Okay, so you are far outweighed by like bad night's sleep, not just good, but
No,
bad.
I used to have good night's sleep.
Okay.
But I think the Christmas holidays, because my sleep pattern has been off, it's a little tough to get back into the schedule.
So generally, what would you say? Perfect, between like perfect, good, and bad.
If I could get 6.5, 7 hours sleep,
yes,
I am perfect.
Okay.
If it's 4 or less, I'm a mess.
What about the way you sleep, like the quality of sleep? Like when you wake up feeling like that was a perfect sleep?
Oh, it's got to be at least minimum 6, like 6 plus.
So what would you say your ratio is then between a perfect night's sleep, a good night's sleep, and a bad night's sleep?
Bad night outweighs good night.
Really?
Right now.
Interesting.
Yeah. Why?
Because you're supposedly, people get 132 perfect night sleeps, 120 good night sleeps, and 113. So it's basically 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
Oh.
Like throughout the year.
Shem?
Perfect, good to bad.
Oh, man. Like 90% bad.
Even with the mask, bro?
Yeah, it's tough, man. It really is. It's tough getting used to it. So, yeah, 90% bad, 10 good.
90.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
you're never a perfect.
No, I don't even know what that means.
No,
not at all.
Never a perfect night's
Nope,
sleep. No,
never.
you've never woken up being like, "Ugh, that was perfect."
Nope, never
No.
felt refreshed.
Wow.
Maria.
Yes.
Since you started on the show in August, your sleep schedule has changed completely.
Yeah.
What's your sleep like now?
I would say I've gotten used to it, so I think it's good. When I'm one of those people that I can fall asleep literally anywhere at any time. So for me, it's not a problem. Like sleeping, once I'm asleep, I'm good. Recently, I've been having issues falling asleep, but I just think it's because of the holidays.
Yeah.
But I've been noticing that I've been really heavily mouth breathing when I sleep. So I've been taping my mouth at night.
Taping your
mouth? Excuse me? Say that again?
Have you never seen I'm not going to say where I found this
TikTok?
thing, but it's better.
Who on TikTok told you to do this?
These like sleep people. Anyways,
Okay.
so
what do you
apparently,
do?
if you tape your mouth at nighttime
with what? Masking tape?
No, I use like medical tape.
Oh my god. Okay.
I use like the non-aggressive kinds. My lips don't get ripped off.
Yeah.
But if I tape
when
yeah.
you tape, do you tape across the lips, or are you making little strips of tape and then going?
I've tried different versions.
Vertical.
I've done one across and then 2 over, like an X. So I have like 3 tapes. That's if I have a lot of moisturizer on my face, because then it doesn't stick. But I have to like reinforce it in different areas.
Yeah.
Bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
And?
Anyways, I've been noticing that I breathe better because I'm breathing through my nose.
Maria uses more sleep at night than Dammit Maury does, whose arm is literally in 2 pieces.
I haven't slept in my own bed in
years.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Yo, you see what's going on in Ecuador right now?
Is that the thing with when they stormed the TV station?
Yeah, so there's
I don't even know
cartel.
what's
It's
all-
basically a
cartel.
civil war going
Okay.
on. And so the big thing was that I guess one of the major gang cartel leaders of the Los Chineros gang, who have ties to the Sinaloa cartel in Mexico.
Yeah.
The thing these guys did last year was they assassinated a presidential candidate, and then all hell broke loose. But one of the gang leaders was in a minimum security prison, and he was about to be transferred to a maximum security prison, and then 2 guards on the inside helped him escape. And then they went and chased him down, and then all the cartel, everything just blew up. Like everything blew up, and they stormed a television station. So these cartel members with bombs and machine guns stormed a television station while they were live on air into the studio and started rounding everybody up and like talking to the cameras, showing the bombs, like everything.
And from the small amount of footage I've seen, they look like they were kids.
Oh, very young. Yeah,
Right?
very young. And then they broke into a prison.
Uh-huh.
And then the cartel members who were in that prison were then like let out in that prison. And then they rounded up all the guards in that prison and started executing them.
What?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Tanks
know
on the
that.
streets. Like it is full on, like Peru, right next door to Ecuador, are like, yo, everything we got at the border. Because it is crazy right now. Like the video footage, which a lot of it is horrific, but it looks like a movie. Like storming a TV
Cartels,
station,
man.
everything else looks like a movie. It's crazy what's going on down there.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Hey, did you see this woman who broke the world record for having a nose whistle?
What?
So she figured out when she was like 7 years old. She's from Mississauga, by the way.
Oh, big up Saga.
Yeah, her name is Lulu Lotus.
Okay.
And she figured out when she was a kid that she could whistle through her nose. And there's tons of videos, and I guess Guinness validated it, and they sent her to this room where they record like the sound, I guess, and then it was determined that she has the loudest nose whistle. And when I say nose whistle, like it's not like she sits there with her mouth closed and then like whistles out her nose.
Like regular breathing.
She can control her nose whistle the same way you can control your mouth whistle. And every video of her is just her staring deadpan at the camera with her mouth completely closed, and this is what you hear.
Hold on, that's her nose?
Yes.
This is her nose.
Her nose.
Yo, Saga got talent like this? No. Come on. Nah, man.
Okay.
Nah.
Do you list that on your Tinder profile?
That would trip me out.
Yes.
I couldn't be friends with her.
The videos
I'm sure
are
she's
so
lovely.
weird because she doesn't move, right? Like nothing, like her mouth, you see the face and you hear the whistle, but there's no mouth involved. It's just nose.
She would make a great villain in a movie.
Yes.
What,
right?
Mrs. Nose?
Yes. And she just
right before she kills somebody, she's walking down the street with an axe in her hand, just whistling out of her nose.
Lulu Lotus, and she just said that she just found out that her 5-year-old son can do the same thing.
No.
Yeah. It's like
it's
like a superpower, right? Like you pass that down.
Like WandaVision.
Right?
Oh, that's incredible.
Very piercing.
Now, is that out of one nostril? Or
That I don't know.
both?
I don't know.
It sounds like it's one.
That I don't know.
Like that's skill right there.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
I don't know what happened at Pearson Airport yesterday, but there was a flight from Toronto to Dubai. Somebody got on the plane while the plane was still on the tarmac, getting ready for takeoff, and I guess passengers were still loading on. A huge plane, Boeing 777. A passenger opened up one of the emergency doors and fell out onto the tarmac.
What?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Wait. So the guy gets on. And just walks over to an emergency door?
I don't know how long after they got on that he did this, but yes, the plane had not taken off. It was still on the ground on the tarmac. And they boarded the aircraft, and during this point before takeoff, while the plane was preparing for takeoff, the guy opened up the emergency door and fell out.
Do you think maybe he thought, let me see if this will work? There's probably, a latch that general population doesn't know about, that the flight attendants know about.
But it's right there.
No, I know. But, maybe he thought, let me just try and see. And, shoulder checked it as he opened, and that's how he fell out.
I think he used the latch as he put his foot on it, thinking it was a footrest kind of thing, it wouldn't open.
No, but then how would he have fallen out?
No. He opened the door
and fell out.
Maybe he thought it was the way to open the window, for air.
You don't open the window on an airplane.
No, maybe he thought I need some air.
No. It's clearly a door. And also with those doors, when you open the door doesn't go out.
No.
You have to pull the door in, turn it sideways, then throw it out.
Yeah. He was probably testing it. Not testing it for safety, but let me see if I could do this.
Do you normally do that stuff?
Never.
Never.
No.
Nobody does.
Never. No.
Nobody does.
I want to get arrested.
But anyway, he got hurt.
Of course he get hurt.
They didn't
He fell
say.
out of a plane onto a tarmac.
They didn't say what the injuries were. Do you think maybe he thought that the ramp would come down, the inflatable ramp,
in the movies?
Yeah. Do you think that he thought maybe that would happen?
Maybe.
Right?
There is a ramp, right, in case you land in the water?
Apparently there wasn't.
How did no one stop him? Because I'm sure it takes a second to figure this door out.
Because they were checking people in at the front.
Would you stop him?
No, but I'd call the flight attendant.
Mocha, would you stop him?
No.
No, Shem?
None of my business.
I'd actually try. I don't want to fly a plane with this guy. In the air? Are you kidding me?
Shem trying to be the hero. Idris Elba on Hijack.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Quote unquote top dermatologists And
on
when
TikTok?
I say quote unquote, I don't know who they are. No name is given. Nobody went public and put their name on this story. They just say quote unquote top dermatologists are now saying that men don't need to change their underpants every day.
Oh God, I wish I could clap.
Dirty.
Clap your forehead, Maury. No, your forehead. There you go.
That sounds hollow.
What?
Open your mouth when you hit your forehead. Okay.
A very dainty tap.
I know. I know. Like, no, don't do that. Your forehead. Only your forehead. That's very dainty. It should slap more.
That's what she said.
Yo.
Stop it. Stop it.
It's an audio broadcaster.
Okay. So you don't have to change your underpants every day. We've lost Mocha. That's okay. That's okay. He'll rejoin the show at some point. But this is only if you're not sweating and only if you're wearing loose-fitting boxers.
No.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
You say no, Maria?
That's disgusting.
Okay. In situations with minimal activity and no sweating, changing every other day may be acceptable, they say.
What? Hold on. Minimal activity and no what?
Sweating.
What are you doing? Standing still?
Yeah.
If you're just an office worker.
Yeah.
But sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No. You go. Listen, men's loose-fitting underpants styles like boxers may also, they say, allow for a longer wear. Unfortunately, women don't get the same pass. Their underpants, or panties, are typically more tight-fitting, and because of the way their anatomy is set up down there, they say, there's more vulnerable and to infections if they don't refresh their underpants. They say that you should change your underpants more than once a day.
Yeah.
More than once a day.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done an underpant refresh in a day, Mocha?
Yeah, anytime I work out. I did yesterday.
Oh, like after a workout.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess after a workout, sure.
Yeah.
But like what if you're just outside in the summer? You're barbecuing. You're sweating the same amount you would if you worked out.
Yeah, but then I would shower when I came back in.
You do?
Yeah, I'll shower like before bed or whatever.
That's a different kind of sweat.
What do you mean? It's a different kind of sweat.
No, like
sweat is sweat.
No, workout sweat. No,
It's different than
it's
what?
different than barbecue out in the sun sweat.
What do you mean?
It absolutely is. Like workout.
Different how?
It's like workout sweat smells bad.
And
day-to-day sweat, is it?
And sweaty barbecue smoke doesn't smell bad?
Yeah.
No, not as bad.
So you think your bum smells different if you've been walking around the city all day in
Oh,
August?
see, I didn't go bum.
Oh.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
According to a new study done by the satellite navigation research firm called TomTom, Toronto had the third slowest moving traffic on the planet.
I believe it. City's a mess.
Third slowest on the planet. London was number one. And Dublin, Ireland was number two.
Really? New York
wasn't up there?
What's that? No, New York moves way faster than Toronto.
They got figured out in New York.
Like, are they
faster.
saying physically slow, like cars are not moving fast?
So to move 10 kilometers in Toronto, according to the satellite navigation, took 29 minutes for Toronto drivers to cover 10 kilometers last year. In London, it was 37 minutes and 20 seconds. And then in Dublin, it was 29 minutes and 30 seconds. So we were almost number two by 30 seconds.
Is LA on that list?
They are, but down. LA's fine.
Because you always
LA's
hear
fine.
about like LA traffic.
You do, but when you drive in LA a lot, like the freeways move. Like you
It's just there's a lot of cars.
You hear about LA traffic on things like Thanksgiving.
Oh,
When you see the pictures and it's like chaos and all this other stuff, but when you actually are driving around LA, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. And even doing like a beautiful, like even if you drive from like Los Angeles and you sort of drive up the coast a little bit, there's no traffic. Like there's traffic, there's cars, but it moves.
Yeah, they have wider highways.
Yeah, and no, they don't. The 401's wider than any highway in Los Angeles.
Oh,
They just have more. They just have more of them.
Yeah.
They have tons of ways to get around. Where there's remember that joke in South Park where they come to Canada and then they sing that song, Canada Only Has One Road?
I don't remember that song.
Right? where it's the 401. Canada has one road, and it just goes all the way across the country.
Yeah, the worst.
We got one road, right? And that's why.
Yay us.
Right? Like if you want to go anywhere, you got to get on Canada's one road.
Yeah.
Which
and
is
now look at us. Third worst on the planet.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Shannen Doherty, who is doing a podcast now, and she looks like she's doing okay. She was talking to Kevin Smith, and years ago, Shannen Doherty did Mallrats, which was Kevin Smith was riding this wave, if you remember, of Clerks and all this stuff. And Mallrats was supposed to be this big thing, and Shannen Doherty was just coming off 90210, and she's talking to Kevin Smith on this podcast, telling Kevin Smith how Mallrats ruined her movie career.
There's always somebody coming in and be like, I love Mallrats,
Always.
And where I'm like, where were you when we put that movie out?
And that's kind of the interesting thing about Mallrats, right? Is that it wasn't a box office success.
Oh, it died.
It died. So did my film career.
Yeah. Like we took it down. We took Shannon's chance right with us. And
I'm like, that was it.
What did you do a movie after that?
No. Like that was it. People literally thought that like I was carrying the movie. So therefore, if it was a box office failure, it was completely on me. So there was no film career after that, which was a little brutal. But at the same time, I
got to carry that cross now in life?
Carry that cross.
I never put two and two together.
It's okay. Like, I think the fact that it has become...
Did you really never shoot like another feature film? You did like 90210, the reunion movie, but like...
TV. All TV.
Still like 2 hours is a movie. And it doesn't matter anymore, man. TV streaming. My kid, she can't tell you what network her favorite shows are on.
By the way, now, but back then...
It was very different.
There was a very big difference. And I didn't necessarily want the grind of a TV show so soon. So I really thought that like Mallrats was going to kick me into that gear.
Oh, man.
Kevin Smith, that was terrible, eh?
So at the time, the head of Universal Studios, they predicted Mallrats was going to do $100 million.
Wow.
Mallrats did $2 million.
That's it. Might as well.
$2 million.
$2 million, same
Right?
thing.
Like that's how much of a bomb it was.
Yeah.
And she never did another movie afterwards.
And you could hear in that clip,
like especially now, just piecing it all together.
Yeah. Like,
wait a second. You never did like one other movie.
Some friend. You didn't check up on a girl or nothing.
I know, nothing.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Lil Nas X, everybody's coming after Lil Nas X, accusing him of, mocking Jesus Christ in his new video called J Christ, where there's a scene, I guess, in the video where Lil Nas X is on the the crucifix, and then people are lifting him up, and he has lookalike actors in the video. One guy looks like Kanye West, somebody else looks like Oprah, Barack Obama's in there as well. Here's a little clip of the song. On social media, Lil Nas X said, "This is the crazy thing is nowhere in the picture is a mockery of Jesus. Jesus's image is used throughout history in people's art all over the world. I'm not making fun of ish. Y'all just got to stop trying to gatekeep a religion that was here before any of you were even born. STFU." So that's Lil Nas X defending.
Well, don't forget
this video.
He was also, he got ripped apart when that Montero video came out, and he was like twerking on the devil.
He had the blood in the shoes. Don't forget.
And then he sold the devil shoes, right? And then got sued and all this other stuff. And listen, whatever.
Hey, people are talking about him.
If your religion is supposed to be mocked and criticized, and that's the whole point. That it should stand up to all that stuff on its own. And brilliant people have mocked and criticized religions over the years, in art. And Lil Nas X is just the latest.
Yeah.
Remember how people came after Madonna for the Like a Prayer video?
She was if you watch, they were going to arrest her.
Yes.
Here.
No, Lil Nas X is just the latest. Do your thing.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
I don't know what Etsy paid the Kelsey brothers for that commercial on their podcast, but they did not pay enough because they did a commercial for Etsy and it went viral because of the headlines. So the headline, before we play you this conversation, the headline is this. Travis Kelce admits he's feeling the Valentine's Day pressure amid Taylor Swift romance. That's the headline, right? And they're pretty open on the podcast, and they have talked about it in the past, and Travis is pretty open and talks about Taylor being at the games and everything else. Sure. Again, here's the headline. Travis Kelce admits he's feeling the Valentine's Day pressure amid Taylor Swift romance. Here's where that came from.
All right, now 92%ers, it's time to shout out our next partner, Etsy. With both of us playing in the NFL for so many years, we've learned a thing or two about competition. But when it comes to finding the perfect game-winning gift for Valentine's Day, Etsy is the real MVP.
Boy, is it.
Do you have anything in mind yet?
I usually get the same chocolates every
That's the
year
brother.
and the same flowers.
Adorable. Oh, my gosh.
And
chocolate and
then
flowers.
a card.
Whether you're feeling the Valentine's Day pressure like Jason and I, or trying to figure out the right gift for a significant other, Etsy is the go-to destination for adding that special touch.
There you go. That's where the
part of the script. It was literally a part of the script. Right?
Whether you're feeling the Valentine's Day pressure like Jason and I, or trying to figure out the right gift.
And he cold read it too. He almost he like read ahead a little bit and was like, "Damn, I already started that sentence. Now I got to finish it."
I gotta keep going.
Whether you're feeling the Valentine's Day pressure like Jason and I,
Come on, I know that's so misleading, but also not wrong because the headline says exactly what Travis Kelce said.
Whether you're feeling the Valentine's Day pressure like Jason and I,
it's so misleading. ESPN Stephen A. Smith. I don't even know. Like it's like
I love Stephen A.
So do
He
I.
gets so fired up.
So fired up. But like the whole thing of like having to defend Taylor Swift going to the NFL games. Like I guess I get that maybe there's some fans who are like, you know, stop shooting Taylor Swift so much during the games and putting her on television. But I don't think that generally there's a giant outcry of where people don't like Taylor Swift going to football games.
My football group chat, they don't care.
Nobody cares. Anyway, Stephen A. Smith felt that he had to come out and defend Taylor Swift.
She did her job. She's going to support her dude to show up at a football game and the cameras are on her. That ain't her fault. No. Excuse me. And by the way, she went to the games after the concerts. It's not like she used the games to bump up the concerts. Oh, no. Those kids were going to her concerts whether the NFL was promoting her or not. Taylor Swift is that girl. Let's show some respect. She probably is going to have a positive impact on Travis Kelce's performance.
And I think that a lot of this new, like Stephen A., I think that a lot of this is still from the Joe Coy joke from the Golden Globes. I think that it's still all anchored to that.
You think so?
Totally.
Yeah, because Taylor looked a little bummed about the joke and then didn't win the award, and apparently she left early. And I think that this is still all anchored to poor Joe Coy, who's like, has a host of anything had to defend like their hosting job more than poor Joe Coy? What a terrible job that is.
And that guy, he lived under the radar for a long time.
Made a great living, did specials, all this stuff.
Yeah, comedy specials on Netflix.
Oh, yes.
And now hated.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Pete Davidson dropped his new comedy special on Netflix earlier this week called Pete Davidson Turbo Fonzarelli. He talks about getting off hard drugs in his 30s, but it's the Aretha Franklin joke that really went viral when he was talking about going, because Aretha died when he was still with Ariana Grande, and Ariana Grande was invited to sing at the funeral. And so this is Pete recalling that moment.
It's embarrassing when you're not on ketamine anymore, though. You're like, ooh, ugh. I'm embarrassed. I was out and about like that. That's not cool, you know. I was at funerals like that. That's right? I was at Aretha Franklin's funeral like that. Yeah, I have to live with that. You know what I mean? She'll never know, but still, it's not the point. You know what I mean? If she was there, she would probably be like, hey, who are you and what the are you doing at my funeral? You know, I don't know. It's embarrassing. I was so high, I thought it'd be a good idea to go up to her family and go, hey, I'm just here to pay my RESPECTs.
Oh my God, no, he did not. You think he really said that? Or
I
that's just
don't know.
part of the joke?
I don't know. I think
Funny
it might
joke.
just be part of the joke.
I think
but
it's part of the joke.
I think he made that joke probably a lot that day just to people who would find it funny.
Maybe to Ariana.
Yeah, in the car, afterwards.
She's like, can you behave?
I don't know if he actually walked up to her family. Maybe he did. I mean, because Ariana Grande was like a VIP at that funeral.
Oh.
So he would have had opportunity to do that.
Yeah, to other VIPs who just so happen to be Aretha's family. Damn, man.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Bill Belichick is leaving the New England Patriots.
Oh, Uncle
Expected to happen today after 24 seasons with the Patriots. What a run. Geez, 6 Super Bowl titles. Belichick and the owner, Robert Kraft, apparently spent a good part of the week meeting and discussing how each side wanted to proceed because he has 1 year left on his deal. But he's going to leave early. So from sources familiar with the conversations, there was said to be no conflict, no disagreement. And in the end, quote, productive talks resulted in a mutual decision that left both sides comfortable and at ease. So no more Belichick in...
Time to retire. Enjoy, man.
No, I think he's going to go coach for somebody else.
He's 71.
Yeah. I think he'll go and do it somewhere else, even for just
Really?
another couple of years or so. Yeah.
Maybe like a smaller league.
For sure.
No, he's going to stay with the NFL.
Yeah. He will.
I thought like high schoolers. Slow it down a little bit.
He's gonna go be a PE coach now?
Easier hours.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Apparently, we're all going to be having sex with robots in the next 10 years.
Woo! Are we clapping?
Yo, you were quick.
Damn. Wow, man.
Damn.
You know, they can
Hold
still
on,
say no,
wait.
right? Probably.
Yeah, now go to the couch.
Yeah. How long would it be before your robot took over the bed, Maury?
Like an hour?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
You'll plug me and then leave.
Yeah, like literally, Maury would have his robot for about a day and a half, and the robot would be going, not like that! You're doing it wrong! It would just turn right into Matthew.
Matty bot.
Experts predict that robots powered by futuristic artificial intelligent algorithms will soon be able to give humans the best sex of their lives. In a new poll already, 7% of people said that they would take a sex robot already now this year.
Now?
Yes. A former senior executive at Google predicted that robots powered by AI could eliminate the need for a human partner altogether in the bedroom. This was the chief business officer for Google, and he said that AI will usher in a redesign of love and relationships, in that people won't be able to tell the difference between real life sexual encounters and those that are created artificially.
Like, do you just turn it off after?
I don't know. I have no follow-up
why?
questions. I have no follow-up questions, Maury.
I mean, I'm
just
know
curious.
the answer, but like, why you keep going
Also,
on?
Maury, you think you could afford a sex robot when they hit market? Hell no.
No, but can I get a knockoff one?
No.
Come on, guys. Cut him slack. He has one hand right now.
Wow. Jesus, Shem.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Come on, Shemroy.
I was just going to say my kid's listening right now, Shem, but your mom's listening right now, Shem.
Continue taking good care of my Shemmy.
That's what mom's saying to the robot.
Okay, you knuckleheads.
Shemmy, mom loves you.
That's so weird.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Charles Barkley weighing in on the Jimmy Kimmel, Aaron Rodgers controversy. So Aaron Rodgers, I guess, went back on that ESPN talk show and said, that's not what I said. I didn't call Jimmy Kimmel a pedophile, and I didn't say that he was on the Epstein list. And he basically denied saying what he sort of said, but then he used semantics and wording and all this other stuff. Anyway, Jimmy did that 7-minute monologue ripping Aaron Rodgers apart. This was all based around the Epstein list that was reportedly coming out, and Aaron Rodgers had made a comment that Jimmy Kimmel was sweating it or whatever the hell he said. But here's Charles Barkley on what he would do if Aaron Rodgers said something similar about him.
Some people say that Aaron Rodgers crossed the line with Jimmy Kimmel.
100%.
If Jimmy Kimmel had said that about you, if Aaron Rodgers had said that about you, implied that you had been on the Epstein list, how would you handle that?
I'd have punched him in the face.
What do you mean, punch him in the face?
You know what the hell punch him in the face means? I think that when you're in the limelight, people get to say things about you that goes with the territory. But that when you start comparing people, saying you're hanging out with pedophiles and people having sex with underage girls, dangerous allegation. That's dangerous.
But Jimmy has responded. I like how Jimmy.
I love how Jimmy responded. But listen, I don't know Aaron Rodgers. He's always been cordial. I've said hello to him a couple times. But like I say, you can make fun of celebrities. That goes with our territory.
Yes.
But that's slander.
Yeah.
When you say people he hangs out with pedophiles and people having sex with underage girls, I would just again.
But you mean metaphorically? You would punch him in the face?
No, I meant rhetorically. Whatever the hell. See, she got me using big words. She didn't know what those words mean. Hell yeah, I'll punch him in the face.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Oh, I guess they're shutting down a bunch of Service Ontario locations. I don't know. The Ford government is closing an unspecified number of Service Ontario locations, and it's part of a pilot project that will see Service Ontario kiosks opened up inside some Staples stores.
Oh, okay.
Works for me.
Though the government won't say if a kiosk will open for every location that is closed, however, the government also wouldn't say if this pilot project could lead to further Service Ontario location closures. So you're not going to be able to go and stand on the street anymore. You're going to have to go and stand in a big giant line inside of Staples, I guess, from now on.
Oh.
Right?
They should just put them everywhere. Like put it in the LCBO. Get some beer and a health card.
What is from Service Ontario?
Right? Like just put it there. Put it at gas
Get a beer
stations.
and then renew your license?
Like just put it where you're going.
Well, I mean,
put them at gas
that is not
stations.
nearly as ridiculous as it is that you can actually buy beer at a gas station.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, that never makes sense. But, hey, it's kind of cool. If you're going to sell it, take advantage.
Thanks for listening to the Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Catch the guys live
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10
on Kiss 92.5.
KISS925.com.
Or download the Kiss 92.5 app.